How did I feel about Inside Out 2? Was I angry? Was I scared? Was I disgusted? Was I happy? Was I sad? Find out in this video. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Just Jake Reviews, where I review albums, movies, and sports games. And today, we're back with another movie review. Last week, I reviewed Moana 2, a sequel to the Disney movie Moana, which was pretty good. Now today, we're gonna do it again. We are going to review Inside Out 2, the sequel to the Disney movie Inside Out, which is one of my favorites. And yeah, this is my very first time watching the sequel Inside Out 2, obviously. I know it's been out for a little bit on Disney Plus even, and just in theaters in general. But I figured might as well do a double Disney review, so let's get into it. Inside Out 2 is a 2024 American animated coming-of-age film produced by Pixar Animation Studios for Walt Disney Pictures. The sequel to Inside Out, 2015, it was directed by Kelsey Mann and produced by Mark Nelson from a screenplay written by Meg LaFauve and Dave Holston, and a story conceived by Mann and LaFauve. The film tells the story of Riley's emotions as they find themselves joined by other new emotions that want to take over Riley's mind. But anyways, once again, like I said in the intro, Inside Out is one of my favorite animated movies of all time. I think it's a brilliant and smart movie, and I absolutely love it. And I did just watch it today just to do a little refresh, just so I can watch this one right now. Let me just say, do I have great things to say about this sequel? So let's get right back into it. So Inside Out 2, once again, trying to do a little spoiler free, even though this movie is not the newest, but once again, I'll still try to keep it like that. Inside Out 2, you have 13-year-old Riley, who is just living the teenage life. She has definitely grown since the first movie, you know, still doing pretty well with her mom and dad. She still loves hockey. She's still very good at it. You got the main 5 emotions back. You got joy, anger, disgust, fear, and sadness. They all return again. But the main big factor with this movie is we got 3, or I guess 4, brand new emotions that we see on screen. We got anxiety, we got envy, we got boredom, and we got embarrassment, which I think are really, really important once you get into your teenage life. So once again, she gets these new emotions. She's 13 years old. A lot of stuff's happening. The main big factor focusing on this movie is Riley does hockey really, really well. Her 2 friends, they all find out that they get invited to a hockey camp, all 3 of them. And Riley finds out in a really embarrassing car ride that her 2 friends are going to a different school than she does. So even if all 3 of them do make the team, they will not be on the same team when they make the actual team. So the main takeaway from this movie is definitely anxiety. Anxiety definitely rules this movie. She is the most important part of the movie, which I will say makes sense. And a lot of bad stuff happens in Inside Out 1 where some memories are lost, some emotions are lost, something breaks. A lot of stuff breaks in this movie. I think they did this sequel phenomenally correct. I mean, absolutely astonishing. I find this movie a little relatable. I do. And I think I knew I would. Okay, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna go on a full tangent about this, but I'm just gonna say real quick. I have anxiety. It sucks. It's not fun. And what she does in this movie is pretty much how we all think, pure, pressure, bringing up like all these different scenarios at once and stressing out over them. It's totally real and it sucks. I also like envy in the movie. I'm not 100% sure what envy really means, but I get the idea of it. And then embarrassment's obviously just embarrassment. Core emotions are also in my head too, which is kind of funny. But I've heard a few people say that they're not a fan of this movie because, anxiety ruins the whole movie. Well, anxiety ruins life. So that's just kind of how the movie goes. Anxiety sucks. It does. I'd say there's not as many, jokes as there is in the first movie. I think the first movie is definitely a more comical side. This movie, they're just trying to play smart and they were trying to be realistic. They're like, hey, what actually is anxiety? We'll tell you in this movie. And it does a really good job of it. At the end of the day, I just think I'm Riley, which is kind of embarrassing to say. Like at the end where they're like, oh, she gets good grades, she plays really well at a sport, but every now and then she breaks something, she does something wrong, she has anxiety. Yes. But anyways, a little short review on Inside Out 2. Do I think it's better than the first one? That is actually a good question. I don't actually know. Even after watching both movies today, back to back, I actually don't know. I think Inside Out 2 might be a little better, actually. I think it might be. So, my review of Inside Out 2, what is my rating I'm going to give it? This is the very first movie I'm giving this rating. I am giving Inside Out 2 a masterpiece.
It was perfect.
I'm giving it a masterpiece. Listen, in terms of a smart animated kids movie, Pixar or Disney, whatever, this movie is absolutely phenomenal. It does everything right when it comes to the new emotions. They know how to do this sequel, and I desperately want an Inside Out 3 because there's so many emotions we can do. You can give us pressure. You can give us nostalgia, who we saw a little sneak peek in Inside Out 2. And they even know how to, like, bring in new stuff. Like in this movie when they bring out thoughts, which I love that, and they also bring out the river of sarcasm, which is amazing. Everything they do in this movie is freaking fantastic, and this movie is a masterpiece when it comes to sequels. So good job, Pixar. Anyways, that's going to do it for my short movie review of Inside Out 2. If you like the movie or don't like the movie, make sure to comment down below if you want your thoughts on the movie. Make sure to go leave a comment regardless and like the video, and make sure to subscribe also. That'd be very needed. I put out pretty solid content over the week. I'm not sure if it's consistent or not, but I try to put out as much as I can and as much as I want. But yeah, please, 50 subs. Let's try and get there. Come on, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun ride, so don't you worry. But anyways, that's gonna be all for today's video, and see you in the next one. Peace.